What's up, guys? I know a lot of you have just found our channel through the Platycee here. This thing has been crushing it. We have more to come on the Platycee, but we have some other cars to get up and ready, and unfortunately, they're not as easy to keep maintained as the electric cars are. So we got some work to do in today's video. We got Wyatt's race truck. It's going to be up in today's video, and the MR2 as well. For those of you that are new to the channel, these are both 1,000+ horsepower vehicles as well. Wyatt's truck makes over 1,000 wheel horsepower. That has a fully built Duramax diesel engine in it. And this is my Toyota MR2 with a Honda K-Series 4-cylinder engine that makes well over 1,000 horsepower as well. This one's a mid 7-second car. Wyatt's has been into the 8s, and we are dialing these in for a race that we have coming up. So we'll have more on the Platycee here soon, but today's video is going to be about these two. It's finally time to get Wyatt's race truck up and running again.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed, buddy. Let me tell you, this thing has been a pain in my behind.
Those freaking 4L80s, dude.
Yep. Really solid. It's just, like I said multiple times, it's all been self-inflicted stuff. And hopefully this time we've got it dialed in. The end goal is to put this in the Christmas tree race with Kyle's MR2. We got to make sure it's ready to go for that, man.
Yeah, plus it's just been sitting for too long.
Yeah.
People have been wanting to see the race truck up and ripping again.
Yeah, no lie. Got real annoyed with it. It went on the back burner for a while. So it'll be back. Really trying to have it dialed in for next year. Going to try and make a bunch of events with it.
So you didn't find any major issues with this?
Yeah, no.
Last time you had it out?
Everything internal looks brand freaking new. No problems there. I sent the converter out to a local company and had them cut and clean it. They found that all the lockup clutches were burnt. It's concerning because I had sent the converter out right after Indy when we broke it, and it was refreshed, and it literally had one pass on it, and the clutches were already smoked. So not really sure what the problem was with that. Maybe it was a fluke. Maybe it was something I missed and didn't go back together right or something. So yeah, we're gonna put it all back together. Fresh clutches in the converter. We're gonna put in a new cooler on it because that might be some of our issue as well.
Trans cooler?
Yep, new transmission cooler. I'm almost starting to wonder if we just put too much power through it because 4L80s aren't really intended to do what we're doing with them. And to be honest, on that one pass, this thing made way more power than it's ever made. It made 85 pounds of boost on the one pass. Usually it's like 70, 72. Maybe it just it wasn't able to just couple the lockup clutch.
Yeah, it was trying to make all the torque.
Yeah, it was probably up there quite a ways. We've also gone ahead and changed up the data logger stuff, so we'll be able to see transmission torque converter slip and just a bunch of other stuff there as well. So,
all right, get that transmission back in.
Yay.
Got a Christmas tree race to make. All right, got the truck back on the ground. Transmission is installed.
Yeah, man, should be good to go. We're just gonna go get the nitrous bottles filled, and then this thing will be ready for the Christmas tree race.
Oh yeah, you gotta show them your new nitrous setup. So
yeah, I don't know.
Into the cab now.
Yeah, I don't know if we showed them, but the bottles used to be mounted back here. So there was one on this side, one on the other side. It worked well, but it was kind of inconvenient, one guy on each side to open them. So we went ahead and revamped the whole nitrous setup and actually moved the bottles into the passenger seat there. And then we also got rid of like 20 feet of line from the bottles up to the solenoids. So now we have 40 inches total of line to nozzle. So much better setup. You can see the new nitrous block up here too. And we also went ahead and added another kit. So now we have 4 stages of nitrous on the race truck. You know, because why not? Enough nitrous to blow yourself up.
Diesels need all the nitrous.
Yep. So 4 kits on it now. Much better setup. Hopefully that works really well for us. Yeah, there she is, man. Back together. Hopefully it does something cool.
All right, guys. So right now I am digging back into the sequential transmission on the MR2. So this is the transmission that we pulled out before we put our backup one in for World Cup. Turns out that was a good call because we chipped a tooth off of that second gear, and that is directly on the input shaft. I found the tooth sitting in the trans. That guy went on right there, and we'll just weld her back on, be good to go. But went ahead and got a whole new input shaft. That's what sucks, is that first or second gear, if they break, you have to replace the whole input shaft since it is all machined out of one piece. So I already got the new one installed, and then I also got a new second gear on the counter shaft as well to match up with that. Honestly, this one looks fine. I probably could have just re-ran it. It just has some like slight burring. Like, I mean, it's honestly, after I pulled it out, I probably should have just ran this one, and I probably didn't need to buy a whole new one. But just to be safe, when I inspected it, I saw that it was nicked up, so I just wanted to get the whole new set. I'll hang on to this one though, because it is in really good shape, so I'll just clean it up. But I'm ready to put this thing back together. Something else that we are changing is this guy right here. So this goes on top of the shift barrel, and this one is for 5th gear. It controls the fork that is up here. If you look at this dip right here, that's where 5th gear drops into place, and this is the old one that we had on there, and once you went into 5th gear, it bottomed out and you could no longer spin it anymore, and there was nothing after that. But now we actually can come back up out of 5th, and it puts it into a neutral. So when I go to the end of the track, I click 5th gear. When I let off on the MR2, I don't have to hold the clutch in anymore and start downshifting through the gears. I can go ahead and click one more time back. It will go into neutral directly from 5th gear, and I can coast all the way down and then ratchet my gears back once I pull off the track. So that's gonna be really nice, so I won't have to stay on the clutch all the way down. So we got that guy swapped out as well. And I also have this box of broken parts right here. I have more in the room over there, but I figured I've been hanging on to these things for too long. I'm never gonna use them, and since we're doing a giveaway right now, I'm gonna go ahead and clean these off and sign them and put them in some random orders as well. I mean, I got a ton of stuff in here. This is one of the counter shafts that we broke out of the Rowdesy. I got a whole bunch of burnt up gears. I got forks that we're never gonna use, so all kinds of stuff. So if you guys find a piece of a sequential transmission in your order, it was from me, because I figured I could give these away to you guys instead of tossing them out. I've had this stuff for too long. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this transmission all back together, because we are trying to bring the MR2 and Wyatt's truck to the Christmas tree race. We're gonna try to put the MR2 back together just with our backup cast motor. Don't go too crazy with it, have it a little tamed down, but just go out there, have some fun. And then Wyatt's gonna try to get his truck ready to go. So I just gotta get this trans back together. The backup engine's already together. Gotta put them together, put it back in the MR2, and go from there. All right, guys, so I got the sequential transmission pretty much all the way back together, but real quick, we're just gonna double check and run through the gears, and I can also show you guys how that neutral after 5th gear works. So right now we are in neutral, I believe. Double check it here. So that's neutral. We go one back, should be reverse, yep. So this is our regular neutral. Then we got 1st gear, 2nd gear, 3rd gear, 4th gear, 5th gear. And now if I go one more time, same direction, you can see we have neutral and the diff's no longer spinning. So it's gonna be really nice for the shutdowns, but we're gonna go ahead and get this fully sealed up. Everything should be good to go. Put the rest of the bolts in there that I'm missing, and this will be ready to go back in the MR2. Hopefully get this thing ready for the Christmas tree drags. So we had an order come in from one of our buddies, Tyler, who lives in, where's he at right now? New Mexico?
Yeah.
And he actually comes out here, he visits us. He was here during the 4th of July. Just one of those off-camera friends, but you know, he ordered some stuff, and Wyatt's been over here whipping up a custom shipping package for him.
Yeah, man, it's the holiday season. USPS loves to throw packages, so we had to make sure it arrived safely for him without damage. This is our not removable merchandise shipping container.
Good luck, Tyler.
You're gonna need it, buddy. Pretty solid though.
That was pretty sick.
Nice.
All right, guys, I got the sequential transmission all back together here, and I'm getting ready to mate it up to what was our backup engine from World Cup. This is gonna be our main engine for the Christmas tree race. I went ahead and got the clutch on this thing. This is our OG clutch that I've only had to refresh once, so it has some pretty new discs in it, but this is the same pressure plate and flywheel that I've had for almost 2 years on the car now. We actually have some surface stress on it right here, because that's when we had it machined, because we had to get it resurfaced on the friction surface right there. And then when you do that, you also have to take the same amount of material off the mounting surface as well, so everything comes down together in there. So it's been sitting for a while, but she should get us through the Christmas tree race. I do want to point out that our boy Frustrate EG, that all-wheel drive Civic that I filmed a few times when we were at World Cup and just sometimes when we're out of the track, he just went a 7.1 on a cast K24 engine at 195 miles an hour, and he is on an Ashton triple disc, the same exact one. I did see a lot of comments about that one I burnt up. Some people dogging on action clutch, this and that. They work great, boys. We were just ripping on that thing on the starting line, trying to get a good launch. We do have some things that we want to do to change that, so we don't have to load this thing up so hard, so I can still cut a good light, because even for the Christmas tree drags, I might be a little on it again, trying to cut a good light. So this one should last us through the event though, and this is our OG here. So we got her slapped on for right now. Had to do a couple more things just to get the head all buttoned up, do the valve lash, all that good stuff. I did also have to run back to JBR to get our bolt right here. This runs that mechanical fuel pump through the valve cover. And as you guys know, we did that at World Cup. We blew this big old hole through the valve cover, and this is a custom valve cover that has this modification for the fuel pump. And it's looking like we're gonna try to relocate the fuel pump if we have time, but there's a good chance we're not gonna have time to do that for this race. So we might end up rerunning this setup, and we might have to patch this thing because I don't know if we're gonna have enough time to track down another one of these valve covers. So who knows? We're trying to get this thing ready to go though. We're not gonna run a ton of power, not nearly the power that we were seeing at World Cup. Probably just try to run like maybe low 8s, something like that. Keep the engine happy, because as you guys saw, we also had crazy EGT temperatures, and we don't have enough time, most likely right now, to try to switch to methanol or anything like that. So we're just gonna run it how it has been, just tame down a little bit, try to go some rounds and have fun at the Christmas tree drags. So getting ready to finalize getting the transmission mated up to that guy so that can go back into the MR2. And then tomorrow, Wyatt's actually gonna start getting that together for me into the MR2, because I have to take the Platycee tomorrow up to Electrified Garage, and we're gonna try to see if we can get the air suspension fixed and get this thing up and ripping. This video will probably come out before you guys see this one anyways, so I won't get too into that, but we'll probably go ahead and leave off here with Wyatt continuing to get the MR2 together. I'm gonna go ahead and get this bolted up and it can go into the car. Well, while I was gone getting the Platycee up and operational, Wyatt was over here getting the MR2 knocked out.
Yeah, man.
Got her pretty much all the way back together here.
Yeah, it's pretty much buttoned up. We made a couple little upgrades and adjustments of things we needed to take care of for like going back to the cast block. And otherwise, we're just waiting to figure out what to do with the valve cover to make it run again.
Yep, that valve cover that blew up. So we still have to get the fuel lines back on there, because those went to our pump that is not on there because the valve cover is not on. And then we're also going to have to figure out some coolant lines as well.
Yeah, so get that done for the going back to the cast block to run water through it, and then it should be ready to go to the races.
So since we're pretty short on time trying to get the MR2 ready to go, I've decided to try to patch up the valve cover that we exploded at World Cup. So I went ahead and got this thing cleaned up. Here's the chunk that came off of this thing, and I kind of had to get everything back in place because it did warp the valve cover. It bent all this stuff out, so I got her straightened out in the vise, got it clamped into place, got her cleaned up. So I'm just going to try to put this guy right back on like so, and carefully weld it all the way around. We have to be careful not to warp it too bad, but with the vise and stuff holding it in place, I think we should be able to get it fully welded back up. We can go ahead and weld over the crack, and then hopefully get this valve cover up and operational again, just in case we don't find another one in time. We're still going to try to find a good valve cover so we don't have to use this one, but it's looking like we're not going to have enough time to relocate that fuel pump anywhere else, so we're going to have to make the valve cover setup work for now. All right, got the valve cover all welded up, got her spray painted again.
Man, you can't even tell.
Can't even tell.
That's crazy.
I did put a little thin layer of silicone on there just to seal up any possible micro cracks or any little pits. We don't want it to leak, but it should ride. I know why it's a little skeptical, but hey, as long as we don't build up a ton of crankcase pressure and this engine's healthy, there should be no reason we don't explode another valve cover.
There shouldn't be any reason we do explode another one.
Yeah. Thanks for correcting me.
Hopefully this one lives.
Well guys, that did not last long. Got the valve cover put on, and after I tightened it down, I put the harness on, I walked away for a little bit, and at some point this must have cracked while I wasn't watching, because I definitely would have seen that crack right there. Got this big old crack going on right by that bolt. And it doesn't even look like it's tied into anything I did over there, but obviously that had to come from all the carnage that happened up there. But it looks like the crack kind of starts and ends right here. Regardless, she cracked once we torqued her down. So that valve cover is no good. We're still gonna try to fire this thing up though, just to listen to the engine. All I gotta do now is get some oil in it, get trans fluid in it, and we got to gap the plugs and get those in there, and then we can go ahead and fire this thing up. We do also have some more spark plug gappers in stock on the website if you guys want to pick one of those up. All right guys, MR2's all back together here, minus those coolant lines and some lines going to the catch can. So we're gonna go ahead and try to fire this thing up, see how the new motor sounds.
Stop. Fuel leak. Fuel leak?
Oh shoot. All right. Well,
Rip.
it was starting to build fuel pressure. We'll be right back. All right, round 2. Oh, almost. Sounds good.
Yep. Button it up. Take it to the track.
You don't do a boosted launch.
I'll put it on 2-step, but I ain't gonna launch it.
Thing's ready to rip, dude.
Nice. Hopefully we'll see what it does.
Yep.
Oh.
Into the trailer it goes.
I actually want to see if the lower 2-step setting is going to work or not. I'm going to do it again.
Okay. Your pulley still looks like it's about to fall off. That's quite the line up there.
Yeah, man, it's pretty impressive to see.
Got 1,000.
3,000 horsepower units,
And they're all
chilling, dude.
powered by different fuels.
And they all.
I don't know if you can really call electricity a fuel, but
Well, I don't know. I don't really know.
we'll go with
I would
fuels.
say it's a fuel. Yeah.
We got 1,000 horsepower diesel, 1,000 horsepower EV minivan, 1,000 horsepower Honda K series. Pretty nuts.
And they all run. That's what's impressive. 3,000 horsepower things that all run at the same time. That's
Very hard to do.
Yep.
Technically, the Odyssey's running.
Don't even start with this. You remember the last time you said this? They all dropped like flies.
And technically the NSX
Nope,
is
shut
running.
up. That's crazy.
That's 5,000
I
horsepower
don't know what you're
vehicles.
talking about. Can't hear you.
Yeah, you're not supposed to say all the cars are running.
Yeah,
'Cause
you say that, they all fall apart like 3 days later. This wind has been a real pain in the ass.
yeah, sorry about the wind, guys. Got a hurricane coming in or something. It's Florida.
Mini hurricane coming this weekend. So yeah, they should be all good to go. We need to get some Christmas trees on the way though.
Like what I said, all we need to do now is get some Christmas trees mounted to the MR2 and to his truck, and we'll be ready to go for the Christmas tree race. We're going to try to test before the actual race, hopefully next week,
Yep.
and kind of go from there.
Yeah, come on out, December 22nd, Bradenton Motorsports Park Christmas tree race. It's
Yep.
gonna be sick.
We'll be there. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you later.